idea was the idea representing the nature. So it's a traditional boat, traditional cave with in caves. That is just the idea. So let's go.
Does he have a homeowner's insurance?
In case one falls out.
Stand over here. Stand over here. I want to take you. Standing up.
Stargate. Stargate. Stargate.
So this way, please. Would you mind just like cheesecake house?
Cheesecake factory.
Is it crooked?
This is like where? Oh, that'd be awesome. This whole place is amazing. This whole is just like so including that.
This is where it's 7 people by 8
It's gonna make me fall off. Never take a basketball. Wait, whose rule is that?
Melissa, look at me, baby.
Whose rule is that? She's not supposed to take a basketball.
Yeah.
Someone,
Those things.
one of our coaches does.
Lấy cái quả cần nói. Okay, go ahead. I'll take a picture of that one, Melissa. Go into the dragon.
Oh, mommy, you stand over here. Stand over here.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Did you take me pictures?
No.
Yes.
Where we're walking. Here's a photo pic.
This pedestrian way, which looks a little bit different, but obviously in the same architectural style. They are parabolic arches, but the inclination is not as far as the one that we saw it in the first one. And then up there, it was planned to be used full of plants as well. It's always the same idea. And you can see from the video, Sarah, there are these local stones which are united just by cement. Are you Italian?
I'm not, but I'm with
So in some other part of Spain, we built up buildings in Baroque style, and then here we built up buildings with some drawings in the main facade and as well as in a lateral facade. Look at here, just in front of you to our right hand side. Look at to your right, this building here, just to our right hand side, this one here, then in front of you you can see a building. Then you can realize the influence which was taken from Gothic style. This is a savings bank. The architect is Sagnier, so we have 100 buildings which were built by Sagnier in Barcelona. Look at in front of you. But Sagnier was an architect which didn't please so much to local citizens, because people said that he did whatever upper class people wanted. Look at in front of you, just to your left. Junqueras was a very well-known wall that I will show you. Ahora esta primera llama a la izquierda. Ahora, esta no, la otra, esta no puede ser. Esta la siguiente. Esta siguiente llama a la izquierda. Then this is the avenue. We are going to get into Paseo de Gracia Avenue, which is considered to be one of the most distinguished avenues that we have in Barcelona. It's traditionally habitated by upper-class families, but during these previous years, most of these buildings they were used for banks, offices, and top luxury shops. Por la parte central, por favor. Then to our right-hand side, you can see the building around the corner. You can see this building here to our right-hand side. The architect is Sagni. Look at here, just to our right-hand side. Then we have as well another architect in modern style. Look at to our right-hand side. The name is Bado. Look at here to your right. Then in front of you to your left-hand side, you can see to be rented. Then in a few moments, look at your left-hand side, you can see as well. Look at this building here and you can realize the Moorish influence. Look at your right-hand side, look at the green building just over there, just to your right-hand side. Then another building, just to your left-hand side, look at Codina House. Just to your left-hand side, the one with the black dome, just here to your left. This one here. Then the next block of houses is quite well known, such as the disagreement block of houses, because of the great contrast that you can see in all these facades. It's here where you can see the three main architects that we have in Barcelona. The architect Sagnier, then Brossa. Look at the building with some steps on the top. That is Puig Cadafalch. Look at here to your left, Puig Cadafalch. Then next to it you can see Bado house, which was built by Gaudí. You can recognize Bado house that because of the small pieces of... Because sometimes when we have the trees, I mean, there is no chance to see really how nice can be facade. A replica of one of the coffee shops that we had here in Barcelona at the beginning of this century. Look at here, just to your left-hand side, you can read Café Torino, just here. Then we are going to see in a few moments Milà House, which was built by Gaudí from 1904 until 1910. Gaudí at the beginning of this century already thought in building a house with a subterranean parking. Vamos a ver, Maxi, ponte aquí. Yo quería que pasaras a ese, pero ya no. Vale, pues ponte aquí todo recto, detrás de esto, todo recto. ¿Sabes? Aquí, porque ahora ya no van a ver nada, que era lo que yo me temía. ¿Ves? Ya está, no ven nada por la cantidad de autobuses. Por eso te decía, vete por ahí recto. Ahora no van a ver porque tienen aquí los autobuses y no tienen vista. Ahora no ven nada. Eso es lo que yo quería hacer. Bueno, ahora no ven nada. Just to our right-hand side, look at really the art of work in the iron, which was built by Gaudí. Look at here to our right-hand side. You can see as well just the kind of the chimneys on the top, always recovered by small pieces of ceramic. Look at as well the art of work in the iron, which was made by Gaudí. In all these buildings there are two entrances. One for tenants, which is over there where there are some plants, and one for Milà family, which is this one here to our right-hand side. You can realize that all iron works are totally different. That's because Gaudí was so specialized in work in the iron. So the official name of this building is called Mrs. Milà House, not Mr. Milà, because it was Mrs. Milà the one who had the money. Mr. Milà had just culture. So it was Mr. Milà the one who met Gaudí when he was working in another building, the one that we saw it before, and he asked him to be his architect. Primera derecha, primera izquierda. Which built his architect is the one which asked to Gaudí
to be his architect for his next building, and Gaudí agreed. But the problems between Gaudí and Mrs. Milà were a lot, until the point that Gaudí then went to work anymore for upper class people in Barcelona. So he refused, and he worked just only in the Church of the Holy Family, which is considered to be his most outstanding work, which was built by Gaudí. Then this is the last apartment building which was built by Gaudí for upper class families. Later on, Gaudí worked just only with Eusebio Güell, and as well as in the Church of the Holy Family. Look at as well, in a few moments to your left hand side, you can see a building just there. This is Robert Palace. This one here to your left hand side. This is the palace, which right now is the tourist office in Barcelona. In front of you, you can see as well that there is a monument which is dedicated to the first constitution that we had in Spain. And right now we are in Diagonal Avenue. Diagonal Avenue, which is considered to be the second longest avenue that we have in Barcelona. It's 11 kilometers and crosses our city in diagonal sense. That's the reason why it's called in that way. It's here, where along this avenue, where we have all main shops such as Gucci, Loewe, Saint Laurent, Christian Dior, Cartier, Max Mara's, all these kind of shops. Then, in a few moments, in front of you, you'll see one house. The name is Terrades House. So Terrades House, which was built by Puig i Cadafalch. But in front of you to your left, Puig i Cadafalch. You can realize that there are three towers. The central tower is a little bit higher because it was built to be the residence of the elder sister. Look at here to your left hand side. Then Puig i Cadafalch was a little bit younger than the architect Gaudí. Gaudí, Domènech Montaner, and Puig i Cadafalch are considered to be the three main architects in modern style. Then in front of you to your left hand side, you can see a sculpture and a small submarine. The name is Ictinios. So the discovery of the submarine was a superior tower of 170 meters high to represent Jesus Christ. So the only facade which was built by Gaudí was Nativity front. We are still working in the Passion front, and there is one from left. And the oldest part, this is the one which keeps really quite dark color just because of the pollution. Then right now we are working in the roof. So we plan still to spend 9 more years in covering the church. So look to your left hand side. Can you see the kind of the pinnacles? Yes, over there on the top. Can you recognize much more better that Gaudí tried to simulate some oranges, grapes as well? Over there on the top, there are some fruits, Mediterranean fruits. So he was so specialized in work in ceramics. Gaudí is considered to be the most outstanding architect in modern style buildings. Look at really just this fountain here, which is dedicated to the three seas that we have in Spain: Mediterranean, Cantabric Sea, and Atlantic Ocean. In front of you can see two towers of 47 meters high. So these two towers were built to be the main interest of this exhibition. We are going to get into the area where we have 12 pavilions. We have a superficie of 80,000 square meters. And then just in front of you, you can see the National Palace. So the National Palace, just to keep the artistical part of the fair, but finally became the residence of the King of Spain during this 1929 exhibition. So the National Palace, this is the one which keeps right now the Museum of Art of Catalonia. The Museum of Art of Catalonia, where the best collection, this Romanesque collection. And then the two cream buildings that we have in the lower part, there are two cream buildings which were built by Pucci. During the day it is used as a museum, and at night it is used such as one of the amusements parts of Barcelona. Look at here, right now to your left hand side, you can see a copy of the city walls that we have in Avila. Look at here to your left hand side. Then right now we are going to park our coach in the parking place, and then we are going to visit just the Spanish village. Here we have a parking place because we are out of Barcelona. That's the reason why really we have it, because otherwise in the town center we don't have any parking place. In front of you, to our right hand side, you can see a fountain which is dedicated to the goddess Ceres, which is the goddess of agriculture. Look at here to your right hand side. In ceremony took us well here. You'll see in a few moments to our right hand side, where we hand side. It is used for soccer, American football. It is used as well for some concerts. Just to our right hand side, you can see the biggest park in Barcelona, the park of Migdia. The capacity is for 20. We have 52 hectares, and there are 14,000 trees in each area. Then in a few moments, your left hand side.
Cái quay đàn gương một.
Quay đàn gối. Hi. We're just taking a picture of this weird sign because it's really weird. This is in our hotel. Yeah, so it's the same Jordan shoes. Look, you can say this. Number 9. just received word that this is the actual place where the dream team stayed. It's pretty amazing. As I looked up, this is where the dream team stayed. This is where the elevator. Possibly the dream team could have been in this elevator. It's pretty amazing. It's very cool. This is the hallway. Those are the stairs. This is floor 2. Going to our dream team members could have stayed in one of these rooms. It is pretty amazing. It's very amazing. This is our room 204. No molesting. I'm coming in. It's pretty amazing that the dream team did stay here, isn't it? It's very amazing.
And if you've been in Nimes in France, looks like the arena, they call the bullfight ring also of Nimes. That was a Roman theater. Next to the bullfight ring is the rail station, train station. All of it decorated, all the decoration you see by our left hand side is ceramic, are no paintings, ceramic. And that station was built in the beginning of the 20th century, 1923-25. This kind of style we call Art Nouveau or Art Deco. It's more or less this city hall is the main one since the beginning of the 20th century. You see the next building by our left hand side where the palm trees are, you'll see anyway later on, is the City Hall of Valencia. But the first City Hall, it was located just opposite to the cathedral, where it's downtown. But you'll see all the balconies and the buildings that you will not find two with the same design. Also it's quite popular in this City Hall, look at by our left hand side, the Fresh Flowers Market. Open 6 days per week, and keeping our right hand side, this is the post office of Valencia. Neoclassic, Renaissance, Baroque, all of them. And all the statues, all the figures are made by a popular sculptor that the name is Mariano Benjure. But you know, on the buildings, if you see the balconies, we were quite popular with the iron work of the balconies. So we could know the category of the building or the category of the floor, always depending of the quantity of iron and quality of work. Look at by our left hand side, if you can see, there are very nice buildings all over. Ahora llevamos a la derecha y todo recto. ¿Eh? Well, just in front of us, again, is a nice picture of the train station, rail station. And it's decorated, you know, with
the products of Valencia, goods of Valencia, like orange. You know that we are quite popular with orange. Well, right now we are going to take or to be on the lane where the walls used to be. So all the time, you imagine that downtown, it will be by our right-hand side. That means Arab, Roman, and Christian town. Because the walls were demolished at the end of the 19th century. Well, in a few seconds, at the same time that they built the bridge, they were making the construction of the subway or metro at the same time. 5 years ago, when you, then once they end the metro or subway, they, by very slow movements, they locate the bridge in the place is right now. Well, this area is now that belongs to the float, okay? One piece only, okay? And people who is going to visit that exhibition, with the entrance, they vote. So the caricature that it's getting more votes, obviously is not elected for a president, but they save from the fire. Because as we burn all the floats, March 19th at midnight, they take that caricature from the float and is coming to this museum. Only one per year. Sometimes it's not relation between. First, caricatures are made in wood and paper machine. Archbishop Palace, built in 1945, mind you. And this is the Archbishop Palace. We have to go to some passage. You know, this they built this passage in the 16th century, just in order to avoid the rainy and windy days to the Archbishop. It was raining, windy, that's it, yeah? They will just pass it in order to avoid the rain and the
The present name Granada doesn't come from the Arabic times. Granada was... Yes. This gate was the main gate of the Alhambra, built in the 14th century. So we are going now to start the visit to the different buildings of the Alhambra. And where is the Miguel? All right. We're going to make half and half. The driver's side, stay with me, eh?
At the end of the hill, at the end of the way up, we were already in the interior of the Alhambra fortress. Because the Alhambra is not a palace, only a fortress, the castle, it's a citadel. We have 2 miles of walls around the hill. We have also 23 towers, and the palace located in the middle. But before going inside the Alhambra, before going inside the Arab palace itself, we stop here in the interior of this strange building. And this is something quite different. It's the palace of the Emperor Charles V. Charles V was the Emperor of Spain and Austria. He was the grandson of Isabella and Ferdinand, the Catholic monarchs, and the king of the Holy Roman Empire. He came to Granada in his honeymoon with his wife Isabella, who was from Portugal. They lived in the Alhambra, in the Arab palace, in a small set of apartments they built for them in a few months. But he decided to build something bigger, grand, really impressive, as an emblem of the new Catholic power. But he wanted to build his palace in the middle of the Alhambra fortress. This is an unfinished building. According to the original project, this palace is probably a 3rd floor and a big dome covering the court. It's a copy of the famous dome in Rome, in the Pantheon. But it was unfinished because of the many economical problems of this emperor. He spent our money, the money of Spain, in different works like Italy, in France, in South America, in your countries, North Africa, always defending the Catholic religion wherever he goes. Anyway, he is considered to be one of the most perfect palaces in the Renaissance style in Spain. Because of the unusual design, outside is a square, but inside is round, you see. It's a nice round court, supported by 32 columns and composed of stone, and with a wonderful acoustic. And traditionally, you see, we use this patio every year, in this time of the year between June and July, for concerts. Concerts of that. The public building nowadays, because the Emperor tells us this, never used this palace at all. He decided to build this palace in a very romantic moment of his life. Nobody will what happened in nothing is the same as he gets here. And he forgot this palace and this city and this place forever. Then we decided to use this magnificent building for all kind of cultural official purposes. That's the other quarter of the Albaicín. That one was more or less the Emperor of House 600 years ago, in the 14th century. Narrow streets, square houses, interior courtyards, gardens, and many churches. So there were mosques in the Arab times that were later by the Catholic monarchs in the 15th and 18th century. Those mountains you see there, in the background, is Sierra Elvira. Another city is located between 2 chains of mountains, Sierra Nevada in the south, Sierra Elvira in the north. By the way, Elvira or Ilíberis was the original name of Granada during the Iberian period. The Iberians were the first inhabitants of Spain. Later the Roman rule was called Florentia, and finally the first Jewish inhabitants of Granada called this place for the first time Granada al-Jahud, Granada of the Jews, the pomegranate. The fruit, the pomegranate means Granada. Is the meaning of the name of our city, and also our emblem. The emblem of the city is really pomegranate. We have the same view not only from here, but even from the interior of the Alhambra, with all the different balconies and windows. You have always got the beautiful view of the Arab city, and the view of that hill, you see on the right, which is the Gypsy Quarter. I don't know if you can see from here, we have a lot of holes in the hill. Those are the ancient gypsy caves. The gypsy of Granada lived up there 25 or 30 years ago, more or less. Well, looking for a better word. No, we use it only for flamenco. They live in a different place because in those cases they had no, well, things electrified and running water, internet, and so it's
The modern things
right.
in life.
That's it. Now you're going to take a couple of pictures here. We have to wait for the group to come because Antonio, the other guy, has the tickets for the whole group. Very easy.
Well, let's sit on.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Over the sitting.
Want me to take a picture?
I don't think Moorish and all those arts. Those arts katahong dyan.
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate. Kuhanin na. Orange na yan. Pomegranate gagmay.
Gagmay.
Small orange. Basta granada. Yung kanya pomegranate.
Gamay na yan. Ole, Granada.
Granada is granite.
Alhambra.
Kaya mga artists nila art. Kasi interesting na beer.
Tahong Vijaya architecture.
Ang heads nila, how they art them.
Vienes dormido. Sí, los ojos. A mí sí, pero ya estoy bien, ¿Qué pasa con
Vale. In the year.
Okay, here we go, mate.
Someone living in a tent in the desert. What you want is not enough of your tent. What you want is this night together. So this is the reason Arab buildings are probably not very strong. But in 2 days we're working there. We care what the Europeans we build for the future, for the next generations. Our buildings are stronger than any
Assets. Then the first palace, this one, with all that area of exterior gardens and buildings included, was intended for the administration of justice. It was called by the Arabs al-Makshura, or Justice Palace. The second part was the political residence, and the third one the private residence. Only for the ruler, his family, concubine, etc. And this is the oldest section of the Alhambra, the Justice Court. Actually, it's a half destroyed and a half restored. But we have here some original things from the Arab time. For example, the 4 columns you see in the middle. Those 4 square capitals. The frieze. Everything was painted in those days in 4 colors: green, red, blue, and gold. Colors that represent for them the basic elements of our planet: fire, water, air, and earth. Green, red, and gold. You see the basic of those colors everywhere on the Alhambra wall. But you know, in the 15th century, when the Catholic monarchs conquered our city in 1492, they decided to use this section of the Alhambra as a church and a small chapel. And they put in that side the high altar. Here below the thrones. In the upper part, the choir for singers and musicians. One of those Christian days of this arena, Arab room, we have here that big beam with Renaissance decoration painted on the other side was the front of that Christian choir. Here, behind you, you have a small room. This is a private oratory. It's like in a small mosque with a lovely view of the Arab city, the Arab quarter, and original decoration from the 13th century. Inside here, but on the right-hand side, you'll see a small arch. That was the Muslim called the mihrab. It's a Muslim high altar, always facing towards the Mecca, or the holy city, to the east, and divided inside in 5 walls, representing for them the 5 commandments of the Muslim religion: oneness of God, prayer, charity, fasting, and trip to the holy city of the Mecca at least once in a lifetime. I don't know if you want, you can have a look at this little...
Intricate design.
Take a picture then.
I bought another with these two windows. Well, it's just looks like that, but in a wooden frame.
But the windows have mirrors.
Wow.
So it looks like it.
Okay, my group. Let's stand there, please. On the other side of the court, by the stairs.
Sino tuan bang di bang san bang an to bang di.
From the city, curtains in the arches, and probably charcoal brazier for winter time. But that's all. The rest was quite simple. This is a small court between the Justice Palace, which is a public area of the Alhambra, and the official residence. And this is the main facade of the second palace built later, during the kingdom of the Sultan Yusuf I. It's a very nice wall. It also has still today the arena classes and decorations, but the colors are there.
Yeah, I'm fine.
This kind of fine decoration is mainly for
Turn around, wait, stop one night.
but everything is cast, molded, everything up to wood, everything inside of it, they carve it, and then they put a liquid mixture inside of it. When it's ready, separated from the mold, and it's stuck in the mold. Everything is made the same way. And this will also make it easier, because this will be made many times, the same design. And the motif, shells, flowers, leaves, stars, geometrical designs, birds of the holy moon, and everything painted in the color palette. So Islamic used different colors, just because not all the colors could be glazed in those days. That's the only reason. Finally, look at that small cake there with a grill.
Ito kamu tinggal doa.
Poca apa? Seven arcs. And 7+7 was the Vatican. The most of the completion. So that was the 7 days a week. 7 times the most of Holland. 7 times the Jewish capital. What you see in the other side of the court, which is it's also a copy of the original door, because the original one is nowadays in the museum, in the archaeological museum. And well, the big pool in the middle is not really an authentic swimming pool. In the Arab time, it was used as a reservoir. It was also used as a natural air conditioning for summertime. And usually now they use it also as a nice mirror, where everything is reflective, producing a beautiful effect in the interior structure of this palace. This is snow water coming from the Sierra Nevada, coming from the mountains, and coming here by gravity, no pumps. There is only a big difference of level between the mountains and the city. 11,000 feet up there and 2,000 feet down here. In that big difference of level of water with really enough pressure all the way around. In those days, we're talking about the 13th century, they built long aqueducts from the Sierra Nevada to the hills around here. In the hills, there were also cisterns. Over there, they obtained a depression for the whole hydraulic system. The water is coming from the Sierra Nevada to the gardens from the gardens of this palace, from the palace to the city, from the city to the river again, just to irrigate the valley, the countryside of Granada. And you see, it's not recirculated.
They had in their garden, in the Arabian garden, there were orange, cypress, myrtle, that's myrtle, and two fruit trees, fig, and grapes. Those are the trees of the Arabian garden. But you know this pool, the pond, was never for swimming, only for the contemplation of water. Remember the meaning of water in the Arabian life, in the Arabian architecture. All this water comes down from Sierra Nevada mountains by an aqueduct built by the Arabs in the Middle Ages, and is still in use. All these fountain and spouts are still working by gravity since the time of the Arabs. You know, the rooms on the second floor around the patio were the residence of the women.
Comares Tower, just because in the other times all the windows and balconies you see around were closed with stained glass, made in Iran, in Persia, and calling those days by the Arabs in this way, Comares or Comarias. On the walls we have 122 different designs on the plaster works. The stars, shells, flowers, leaves, verse of the Holy Book. But perhaps the most impressive thing here is this fantastic ceiling. Made in cedar wood from Lebanon, with 8,017 small pieces. They were originally in such a way painted and gave the impression of shell, ivory, and mother of 7 sections, 7 square sections, making a pyramid, and representing from them those 7 steps or levels of the Muslim palace. I said also, this room is probably the most historical one in the apartment, because here was celebrated the last meeting of the last Muslim king of Granada. His name was Boabdil, Abu Abdallah Boabdil. Here in this room they decided finally to surrender the city to the Catholic monarchs, Isabella and Ferdinand. It was the 2nd of January of 1492. And you see, Granada was the last Muslim kingdom in Spain. But it was also here, this in the same room, we're in the same year, but of course after the conquest of the city, and living here in the Alhambra de Queen Isabella, her court, was also here where she received for the last time the visit of Christopher Columbus. Here in this hall, she decided finally to help him with her own official permission and the necessary money, etc., for the trip to the New World, to America. So you see, for this kind of reason, this room is quite important for our history, and also for the history of the rest of Spain. It means for us the end of the Arab domination in Spain during almost 800 years, and the beginning of the Spanish Empire in the world. Everything happened in this historical place where we are now, the throne room. By the way, what you see down there in the middle of the room is a piece of the original floor. Claro, blanco. Chicos, y no al fondo todo. Y no todo, al fondo. Ya, moji皆さん思い出してここで止まりましょう。ですね。やっぱりね。だからもう横から写真を撮る方がいいですね。横からよくわかるんでね。残念ながらどこでも人が多い。Before the consequence arrives.
days sun.
Elizabeth Palace, the most famous and beautiful section in the Alhambra, finished in the 14th century, exactly in the year 1377. Here we have 11 different kind of arches. We have also 124 columns with different capitals, every 3 columns. And we have also a very ancient and interesting fountain in the middle, the famous Fountain of the Lions, 11th century, coming from the ruins of a very old palace we had in Granada, that belongs to the Spanish, but Jewish writers that are called Samuel Ibn Nagrela. It's a Jewish fountain in the middle of a modern hospital. Nothing unusual for us nowadays. But in those days, the population of our city was composed of Muslims, Jewish, Christians, living all together in peace and harmony. The fountain represents the base of the throne and the King Solomon.
How long did you finish the carving?
How long was?
You finished the carving.
Well, the entire work took from 1228 to 1377.
And the year?
Little by little, day by day.
The architecture is the same all the year.
No, it was a different one. Different every part.
Some parts are different.
The same way was a different fountain.
Oh, different parts.
The construction of every part. Very good.
Make sure to lock it up every time so you don't waste the battery.
Jan, stay there. Yo. I like the picture. Stay close. Yeah. Joey. Tahu sangin kan bougainvillea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ikaw ala pa siya.
By the wall, that's right, and green, everybody. That's what I said. It's a garden-made architecture. So you see, come in here, please, everybody. I want to show you the main patio in the General Issue Garden. Here you can see a little palace built at the same time as the Alhambra. Look at the fine decoration on the wall and on the arches, the same as in the main palace of the Alhambra. It is also Nazarita architecture. And this is, the channel, the aqueduct I told you before. The water is collected from the river at the beginning of Sierra Nevada. It comes down into the garden, down to the palace, and then back to the river. Remember, only using the different ground levels of gravity. You see the jet fountain are still working by gravity. Okay.
So we've just started the season. Give it 2 more weeks, it will be even busier because obviously just started July, middle of July, August. The beach is completely packed. Sometimes we find it difficult to get the bus along this road with the amount of cars. So we're just going to drive a little bit further on, then we're going to cut back up through the middle part of the town. We drive through the centre part of Torremolinos, making our way then to that old fisherman's quarter of Carihuela. And you're going to notice then the difference between obviously Torremolinos, Carihuela and further down where there's lots of tall high-rise buildings, apartments and hotels going up. Carihuela then is the old fisherman's quarter where it's very low buildings, so that's the original Torremolinos one could say, where everything was built around that area. That fisherman's quarter then is on the Mediterranean side obviously, but it's very well known for those restaurants. So our restaurant then is still a very good one amongst all the other best ones, and it's there that we are going to be fed very, very well. So once we be seated down, you will find on the tables then, they come down and put 2 kinds of salad, a great big mixed salad, and they're going to put another salad on the table. Or everybody looks at it first, not quite sure whether to try it, but do try it. It's known as pisto. It's made of red and green peppers and tomatoes, a little bit of onions, and it's all mixed up together, but it's very, very tasty. So we've got those 2 kinds of salads. We get 5 or 6 different kinds of plates then from the different species or specialities then of the Mediterranean. Our main cooked in salt, and they usually bring it round you to show you how it's been cooked. Although it's cooked in salt, you will find it's not a salty fish. It's a very good white fish. You'll have that as main course then with all the vegetables. On the tables then are our bottles of water, our red, white and rosé wine. If anybody wants to try any sangria, we'll put some jugs of sangria on the table for you, followed by dessert and tea and coffee. And then there will be a couple of gentlemen then just playing some Spanish music for us just to keep us entertained. So it's a very nice restaurant, nicely overlooking the beach, overlooking the Mediterranean, so it's a very nice relaxing atmosphere. And then once we've had dinner then, there's 3 ways we can get back to the hotel. We can swim back, we can walk back, or we can come back on the coach. So the old fisherman's quarter then, although after dinner, once we've had a big dinner, to do a nice stroll. So we do have this walkway on our right hand side. It runs from in front of us up to our hotel, and it goes round that peninsula, and on the other side of the peninsula then is the old fisherman's quarter. So if anybody does want to walk back, we'll ask you if you want to come back with us or if you want to walk back. If you do walk back at a very nice slow pace along the ocean front, then it will take you maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So we can come back by the